Douglas Todd has a column out on new polling numbers on Canada's immigration policy. Doug, what did the polls find?
The polls are finding that there's a slight trend towards somewhat more negativity among Canadians about immigration levels and immigration policy. Maybe just 3 or 4 or 5%, but people in the immigration department and people who support high immigration, like the Liberal government and this think tank, that conference board, they're concerned about these numbers, and they are trying to counteract it with attempts to, as they call it, win the immigration debate. And I went to this conference, which was called Winning the Immigration Debate, and was there as kind of a voice of just something fresh.
Sure. And what did you say exactly?
Well, I said that Canada should be having a good, more detailed discussion about immigration policy and immigration levels than we do have. And some of the speakers did agree with me, some of the academics, that a lot of immigration decisions in Canada are made behind closed doors in Ottawa by mandarins and politicians who don't really want the complexities of immigration issues to get out to the public, because Canada has kind of escaped what's happening in the US and parts of Europe, which is this sort of extreme reaction to immigration.
Does the average Canadian have the knowledge to participate in that immigration debate in a meaningful way?
I don't think they do. The media doesn't cover it that much. I tend to do it, but it's most journalists don't go into any detail about immigration issues. It's extremely complex, which I've learned over the recent years. But even the organizer of this conference board session on immigration levels revealed a piece of data showing that only 9% of Canadians have even the most vague idea of how many immigrants come in each year, which right now it's about 280,000, so almost 300,000. Only 9% even got within 100,000 of that. So there is a lot of ignorance amongst Canadians about what's actually going on. Yeah.
And does that make people like me susceptible to populist voices, whether they be on the left or the right, because they might be the loudest right now?
Yeah, that's what I would love to see Canada avoid, is this kind of either or approach to immigration. We either open borders or whatever, bring everybody in, or clamp down on it. Like, immigration has shaped this country in an incredible way. It is mostly a success story, but we've got to keep watching for the details of what's working and what's not working.
What advice would you have for someone who wants to learn more about Canadian immigration? Where should they be looking? What types of questions should they be asking?
Looking at the polls are getting better, and even the immigration departments, Angus Reid's doing some good polling. Watching the polling is super important, I think. And just reading the journalists who do write about immigration issues from time to time. It's hard to get super straight answers out of the actual immigration department. They've got their walls up. So that's a good question, actually. Where do you go to get really good information on this? Some academics are good.
Sure. I'd suggest reading Douglas Todd's columns at the VancouverSun.com. Thanks, Doug.